Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be running you through my first upper body session of my new meso after my active recovery phase. So this is actually week 1. So obviously I'm aiming for my minimum effective volume, so the least volume I need to do to see efficacious growth, which hopefully is a little bit reduced due to doing the active recovery phase. Got a little bit of volume resensitization so I can kind of quote unquote get away with less, or rather I need less total volume. And then also minimum effective relative intensity where I can see like really good growth. So around 3 to 4 RER in this session as well. And this is a full upper body session, so you'll see me doing some pushing and pulling. And actually, I think this is my AM session. So I do also have a PM session later where I believe I do triceps and delts and maybe some calves. I think I have some abs in this session that you're going to see here, along with some biceps, which I don't always do. I think I actually did this session all in one. I just didn't film everything. Oh no, I did film everything. I'm just remembering what I have footage-wise here, and I have some lateral raises in there as well, so you'll be able to see those. But I just wanted to talk to you today in this actual, as I'm going over this footage that you can have a look at in the background with that context to remind yourselves of, is something that I kind of learned or picked up on over this weekend, which I thought was really cool, and also some content that I recently shared over on Instagram that I think will really relate to, you guys will really be able to relate to, and enjoy kind of my perspective on kind of normal and what that kind of means. So I don't know if you guys have ever had this, where maybe you've been at work, for example, maybe you're not a PT, you don't work at home, you work in an office. I used to work an office job, and I would be taking in lunches every single day. I would take in my own kind of packed lunch. I wouldn't eat kind of at the canteen or meals out, partly to save money, but partly also because it was more effective to reach my goals this way. And my lunch was actually the same every single day, because I basically would bulk cook on a Sunday for the entire week. And this would be normally 9 times out of 10, it would be like a chili. I'd do a load of low-fat beef mince with loads of veggies in there. So I used to like chuck in tons of veggies. I must get like 5 vegetables in this thing, because you can cook it down in a tomato sauce and a stock and put in a bit of chili, and it's great. And then you can chuck in a bunch of rice with that as well, and this would work really well for me. But I used to get quite a few comments from like colleagues and people like this, just being like, why are you eating the same thing every day? Like, that's so boring. Or if I don't know, they were going out and getting some delicious ice cream or cookies or some pastries like this, they'd be like, oh Steve, aren't you gonna have any? And then again, if I refused it or like turned it down, I was like, no thanks. It'll be a case of like, again, you're boring, like live a little, this sort of kind of comments. And then again, when I kind of came out of university and I didn't really want to drink, it was still, I was of that age, and the people I surrounded myself with were of the age where drinking was just the norm, and people would just drink alcohol and get trashed. And again, it would be a case of like, you're boring, live a little, this sort of thing. And if I want to go to bed at a certain time and kind of not stay up late and stay out late, again, it's those comments of like, essentially I was against the grain, not being normal. And I'm sure many of you can relate to this in terms of these sort of comments that you might get. And I sometimes have clients who, they struggle with this perspective, and they're like, almost some people aspire to be normal. In that normal is a good thing, like, oh, I wish I could just be normal. And it's like, you can be normal. It's very easy to be normal, actually, because that's what most people do. That is average, right? That's what normal means. It's like, normal is seen as the most common thing. It's the average of what the population does, like not taking care of their sleep, not taking care of their nutrition particularly, probably not training in the gym that much. And then I kind of think, well, if you're aspiring to be normal, or you have these people that want you to live this normal lifestyle, like, it's actually become normal to be kind of unhealthy. It's become normal to be underslept. It's normal to not have a really muscular physique that's quite lean. A lot of these things are normal, and they're not necessarily good. I don't think normal and good are synonymous, I think having kind of, again, you can't have like normal eating behaviors, because you can, but it's not necessarily healthy. I think having these are different things. Normal is now moved past this point. So I think for us who strive for goals that are above average and therefore not normal, and we are aiming for a physique that again is above average and not normal, especially if you're a competitive bodybuilder, there's very little of your physique is normal. You're pushing, like, the actual things we're doing is putting ourselves out of homeostasis, which might be like our body's normal, and we're imposing a stress to create demands for growth and to push ourselves above what is otherwise normal for our physique and what would be average for our physique. And maybe we're taking, again, for stage, we're certainly not normal there. We're taking things right down. So some of your actions and behaviors have to, by necessity, be abnormal. And I don't think that's wrong, because when you then think about any endeavor in life, when I was kind of going self-employed, working from home, doing online coaching, that wasn't a normal career. That wasn't a normal career path. And I actually stopped working in an office and pursued this. And that wasn't like the normal, again, thing to do. It was kind of like a bit of a weird thing, especially within my family and within the people I knew. No one else was doing that. But I pursued it, and I had to go against the grain to eventually get a career where I started earning more than I was in my office job. Not that I was earning much, by the way, but I started earning more income just as a baseline of like kind of, I guess, growth and success. I was earning more than that within like months, and that just goes to show that I went against the grain, and I went a different route to what would be considered a norm to get better results. And so I think in many things in life, like, to get something, you might have to go against the grain, do something that is abnormal and otherwise considered like different, and people struggle with that. But I don't think many of us want to be average. I don't think many of us want to be normal, especially in our physiques. But even in our career, maybe you want to be like better than normal, you know? So you might have to work a bit harder than the normal person, you know? It's the same with me at school, actually, with my education and to getting good grades. Part of me, I had to work harder than the average person anyway, because then I would get probably below average grades. And I had to put in a way above average efforts to get above average results. And again, that might happen within your physique endeavors as well. There could be people in your life, actually, who are getting as good, if not better, results than you with less effort. And again, more normal, quote unquote, efforts. And maybe you have to go even further to get kind of more from your physique. And then it's just a case of, is it worth it to you? Because again, if you are striving actually for a normal lifestyle, then maybe you have to settle for like normal results and average results. And then it's a case of like, what's the cost versus benefit here? What's the needs analysis? Like, well, I want this, that means I need to do this. And so if you have a really high striving goals for your physique or whatever endeavor you're trying to pursue, you're probably going to have to put in way above average efforts that are, again, not considered normal. If you really, really want to grow in your career, you probably have to do overtime. You probably have to miss out on events on the weekend, maybe. You probably have to do things that seem very off by your friends. And again, I also think it's all good and well for people in your surrounding environment to question these things, because they maybe don't understand. They don't know you. They don't know your goals, your ambitions. You can explain to them, and maybe they can relate. But so it's all good and well, and I never take offense if someone's like, oh, they said like you're boring or whatever. Like, they don't quite understand what you as an individual are trying to achieve. I don't take it out. I don't take it personally, and I don't think lesser of them as an individual. But if it's your friends, that's different, because I think true friends should accept you for who you are, what your goals and ambitions are as well. And I think I can relate that to myself in my relationship with Charlotte, who we've been together over 5 years now. And we're essentially like, we're not married, but we may as well be married. And she doesn't train. She doesn't like really think about like macros, things like this. She's not on my fitness pal with a streak, you know. She is quite separate from the fitness industry, but she accepts me for who I am, and she really loves that I have these goals and aspirations, and she understands that, and she understands that I'm not normal, and I don't think she would want me to be normal. Sometimes she would, don't get me wrong. She'd like me to drink a bit more or stay up a bit later, but that ultimately wouldn't make me who I am. And I think she really respects me for the fact that I have such goals and aspirations and can do such things. So again, it's just, if your partner, for example, is giving you shit all the time for this sort of thing, maybe they aren't the one. I'm not kind of getting into relationship advice here, but you know what I mean, I think. So I thought I'd just discuss, what it means to be normal. Don't feel bad about striving for better than average, and that sometimes you will have people that question you, but so long as you know what you're doing, have at it, enjoy it. So hopefully you guys can relate to this. I'd love to hear some of your thoughts, perspectives, feelings surrounding this topic. If you have a different opinion to me, that's totally cool. Let me know about it. And hopefully you've enjoyed again, this watching me train a little bit, see what my kind of 3 or 4 RAR is looking like on some of these movements, how I'm executing them. And I will talk to you very soon. Have a great time, week, day, whenever, whatever. And leave me a comment, leave me a subscribe, notification. Let me know if there's anything you'd like to particularly see on these vlogs, as always. And I'll talk to you and catch you on the next one.